I'm Jim Stirling of Stirling Fruit Farms in Greenwich, Nova Scotia, and we farm 400 acres of orchard and 300 or 400 acres of various other crops, vegetables, wheat, and corn. Mostly we grow apples. We kind of sell most of our produce through our fruit stands, so we're what you'd consider vertically integrated. We have 5 fruit stands in 2 provinces, Nova Scotia and New Brunswick. And we have a packing line, so we grow our produce, grow our apples, and then we ship it all to our fruit stands. Well, the company history started with my grandfather, and he was born in 1900, and I think he started the business in 1918. With what we're standing on now is basically the starting of the farm. And since then he's expanded it to the 400 acres of orchard and started fruit stands right after the World War II. Started a fruit stand in Nova Scotia, and then we expanded in the 60s to New Brunswick. We start picking apples in August, almost the end of July, last week in July for our close, our earliest variety. From then we're picking till the middle of November, apples, peaches, plums, and cherries. And then we switch over to storing them and packing them until we pack right through till almost the next July. In the meantime, as we're packing those, we grow strawberries and the vegetables, and we harvest them in the summertime, and cherries in July. And our storages and our packing line is busy almost year-round. As July starts and we get into our major season in September, we're into Macintosh, which is our largest variety. We store lots of, approximately 2,500 bins of Macs, and Honeycrisp, Cortland, Empire, different varieties in controlled atmosphere. Controlled atmosphere is where air is 21% oxygen, we drop it down to 2.5% oxygen. And we get the CO2, we don't let it rise above 2%, and that puts the apples asleep. So we can then store them from the end of September is when the earliest ones that are stored the longest are stored until the end of July, end of June and into July. That doesn't necessarily increase the value of the apples, but it allows us to keep our markets open and keep our sales until year-round. So we won't lose any sales to anyone because we have lack of product. We had our energy audit back in 2009, and since then we've taken some of the recommendations from that energy audit and applied them, spent a little money, and through the FIF, Farm Investment Fund, we've made some changes. And it's to our advantage that these changes have lowered our consumption. We find that our bill hasn't changed a whole lot, but our consumption has gone down a little bit, and we have quite a large electric bill in the range of $75,000. So any way at all that we can use to save some energy and some money helps our bottom line. The improvements we made were in CA, storages, and controlled atmosphere. And we did that through torque controllers. Torque controllers allow us to shut our fans off in our evaporators in our controlled atmosphere rooms, that when the room isn't calling for cooling, that the fans shut off, save us energy, and don't create more heat. We switched to, from our belt-driven compressor of the 1950 vintage to a 2009 compressor. And this allowed us to stack in our rooms 9 high instead of previously 6 high. That brought our capacity from 3,000 bins up to 4,500 bins, with a slight increase in energy usage, which really was a less energy usage per pound of apples. The new CA rooms have been upgraded with 4 inches of styrofoam insulation in panels, which is an increase of 2 inches over our spray-on in our older rooms, older controlled atmosphere rooms. We now have doors which are insulated, double insulated, compared to our old doors which aren't insulated at all. And these rooms are very tight. Tighter than our older rooms. Our older rooms are much larger, much harder to control an even temperature in the room. Much more energy efficient in that when we need apples or need product, we can take a little bit out and reseal the room, and a lot less energy is used than when we take out of a large room and have to reseal that room. We've gone from the older style lighting into T8 high efficiency lighting in our markets. We haven't completed all that yet, but we're doing one market a year. We've also increased or improved our lighting in our packing facility, and we're in the process of improving in steps our lighting in the processing area, and we're going to the T8. All our new storages have the new T8 lighting. We find them brighter, less heat, more efficient, saving us money. Without the Farm Investment Fund, it would have been the ability to do as many changes as we did, as soon as we did, would have not been possible without the Farm Investment Fund. We spent a tremendous amount of money on new storages, and they allowed us to make the upgrades so that we could be competitive. The lessons that we've learned on this is that we're trying to do as much as we can, as soon as we can, and we've been too slow at it previously. We can see a big change, and we're quite happy with the changes.